it's not much of a problem at all. Again, when it happens too often, when it's too intense, and then when it lasts for too long, or if you realize that it's interfering with your daily activities, it's interfering with your relationships with others, it's interfering with your productivity at work. That is when anxiety becomes a problem. I always tell my clients that if you're anxious, especially when it's in relation to other people, you should always realize that other people are human just as you are. So you may be placing too much premium on their opinion because judges are human beings. As a lawyer, you're also a human being. You are prone to your moods. Why would the judge not be prone to his or her own mood? Right? So they are human just as you are. They may lash out at you during court, or they may say things that they don't really mean or need to say. But that is how you don't know how their day is going, you don't know how they are feeling. You're not in their mental space to be able to guess the things that they are going to say. So just as any other person's comments may not affect you so much, you should sometimes think of the judge in such a scenario. You, as an individual, too, should also be aware of the kind of anxiety that you deal with. So, some people have generalized anxiety disorder or GAD, where they are constantly worrying about everything. So, even as a lawyer, it's not just about going to court, the person is constantly worried about every single thing. How I'm going to get from here to here, there's always a constant worry. So, the mind is like a battlefield. Some people have social anxiety, that's fear of judgment in social situations. So some people feel like they might, excuse my French, fuck up in court. Then they have anxiety. And then there's panic disorder, which is like a top tier anxiety, right? Which has a varying array of symptoms. People who have phobias, like some specific phobias, also are related to anxiety. And performance anxiety, which is more specific to what we are discussing here, where somebody fears, I mean, being in court is all a performance, isn't it? Somebody fears performing, whether it's public speaking or even court appearance. One thing that I think everybody should be aware of is that to be able to reduce the kind of anxious feelings that you have, you should always be extremely comfortable with whatever you are going to present. Once you familiarize yourself with your stuff, it's very easy for you to calm yourself down. However, if you are ill prepared, no amount of calming yourself down would assuage your fears because as you are not prepared. So preparedness is probably the number one thing that you should have.